Welcome to the Paper Garden, a creative corner of grace and grains, and my name is Rhonda. Well, welcome to day number 3 of 14 days of collaboration with Creating by Jovi and doing Valentine Day cards. I wanted to pick up where I left off yesterday. This is my card from day 2 where we used a belly band, we put in a card, and a different elements on top, including a scripture that I thank my God every day time I remember you, Philippians 1:3. Today we're going to move on to, we're actually going to create this one into a pocket and then create a tag on top. So I've taken my blank card with the paper on top. So here's my blank card and paper on top that I'll glue down, and then the elements we'll be using from the digital kit of Victorian Valentines, part of the Creating by Jovi digital kits for Valentine's Day. This is one that we ripped off the actual head from day 1 and a few other pieces, and then we're going to use this last page, which was part of the ephemera, which is printed out on a cardstock, so it's a little bit heavier. I've already sliced this page off so it's nice and straight, but the piece I really wanted was going to be this one, which I'm going to create into a journaling card. So we'll take these 2 pieces aside, including this one, and then today's card, and we'll start here. So what I've done is I've taken blank cards and just as a basic, and then I found cardstock and cut it just a little bit slighter on the inside of each piece. I'm going to corner off all my sections because I like that rounded edge look. And then I'm going to distress it. Now I've been mentioning the last couple days is this is my first experience with creating cards. I've actually been an art journaler since August of last year when I found Jovi's channel. I retired a year ago, and so following her has really opened my eyes to the art of art journaling. And then when I was open to this suggestion of being part of her design team, I wanted to jump at it. Not only for the excitement of learning something new, because this is all new to me, from making cards to YouTubing and all of the above. So I take a little bit of my glue, and then I'm going to glue this down somewhat square here in the middle of my page. Now I want to create a pocket down here at the bottom, and so what I'm going to do for something fun, I thought I could go either this pink or the red. I really love this red. Ooh, I'm going to go with this red. I measure about how far of a pocket I want. It's going to be about 2 inches. And then what I have is what's called a tearing ruler. And this is one of those inexpensive things that I got off of Temu. I'm fairly new at buying things from Temu. What I've learned is you just go in and you just buy it, and then you ignore all their emails, and in 2 weeks it'll just show up. So that's been fun. When I took the borders off, I always leave a little bit of an edge, and that was my cheat sheet of where I was going to use this paper again. But that's the benefit of digital kits, is that I can go in and download one paper off this kit, or I can download all the papers off the kit. So let me just kind of measure this here and eyeball it. We'll take it to there. What I'll be doing with this type of pocket is making it pretty straight right on the paper, whereas if I wanted to have a deeper pocket, or if I wanted to hold more information, I would actually then go in and bend both sides, and it would give me an elevated pocket. But this way, what I like to do is, now that I have a corner on my card, but I've rounded out the corner of the top, and now I've rounded out the corner of my pocket. In art journaling, we do a lot of this distress ink, and so I have this, Tim Holtz Rangers ink. We'll put that on top just to give it a little look to it. Also, what I like about the ink is if you do have some white borders, it hides all that little part, all those little stains or the white part showing. And a little bit of glue. And now this is the art glitter glue, and what I like about this is it has this fine tip, and you can really get into the very edge of these pockets to put on the side. We'll put that down here. And then we're going to create this card to be like a little card that would go inside. But what I'm going to do is cut it off to create more of a tag. And so there's two different ways that you can cut off a tag. Now I've squared this out from when I printed it out. Now what I've done is I've taken an old Starbucks card, and you can either cut it crooked like, or cut it perfect like this and cut your corners. And what I've done is I've done this on my credit card, so that way I have this and I can use it on all my cards. Or what I've seen other designers do, you'd take this and then you would just flip it over and use that as a border for the same size. So there's two different ways, but the benefit of both ways is you're not really having to pay for either one. So it's an inexpensive way of getting into art journaling. So now those should be somewhat even. And they always seem off to me, but I just kind of go with the flow. Again, I'm going to take just a little bit of a tip off the edge. I like these flowers down in here in the end, so if I use this small corner piece, I can put that in and cut that off. It just takes out a little bit of an edge off and makes it a little bit rounder without being a big chunk like I would on the other sides. For the top, to create this into a journaling card or a tag, is I'm going to use a crocodile. Now, I'm pretty basic when it comes to tools, and what you'll see is you have to create a hole, and it has a larger hole, which is 16 inch, and this is like a smaller one, a smaller hole. But because I always use this one, I took some pink duct tape and put it on top. And then when you squeeze it together, you're going to have this mechanism in here. Let me unlock it. That's going to be pushed down. And then it tells me that's the top. So this is where I punch my hole. This is where I squeeze the hole together. I mean, you find out what works best for you. And I like to be right all the time and not have to go back and forth like this. But look, I got that nice, beautiful edge. I got this really great kit. Before I was really an art journaler or doing all of this work, I was more of an art supply collector. Over the years, I have scrapbooked, I have Happy Planner, I've got boxes and boxes of stickers and Happy Planner supplies. And then when I got into art journaling, it really opened up my door. But you know, when you can afford it and invest in the right tools, and look at all these colors I have in here. Plus it has the tweezers and the things to add to it. And then its own box. That's what really works. So I've chosen the red, and already I can see I put the hole in the side there, but that's okay. So now I go to my pink side where I have that, and you place that into the hole. And so you've got the hole there, and you can see how it's poked through, and then you put the two together and squeeze. And what that does is it flattens out this piece in the back, and what it gives a little bit of a stability to the card. Now this is already cardstock, but if it was a looser paper, that's a nice way to prevent your ribbon from ripping out of the hole. And now I'll take a piece of ribbon, and we'll slide that through. And you take your ribbon, now, depending on the size of your ribbon, I'll have to turn that into like almost into thirds and pull that around, and then just tie a little simple knot to it. A real little simple knot, because that's real little. But then what you can do is write a little love note on the back. Here, let me just put some coloring on the back. I just don't like everything white for some reason. I just like it a little bit more distressed. There we go. So a little bit more distressed. And then that slides right in, so it says Happy Valentine's Day. And then I do have a sentiment that I'm going to put on it, what I just found out recently, and I've been working on this, is there are over 100 elements that you can put on a card. And a pocket, well actually a pocket and a journaling card are called interactive. It's something that you can do something with. Pull it out, place it down. And what this is, this vellum is considered a sentiment. It actually is a decorative touch or a writing tool touch, where it's to prompt you to write something or create something. So I'm going to take my little piece of Wilton silicone and put it upside down. Add a little bit of glue, Elmer's glue, to the back, and then I have my fingerprint here, my finger sponger applicator, and it says "with love," and I will put this right on the inside, and that way this leaves us a nice little blank card for someone to go in and fill out whatever they want to give to the recipient. Now this is day 3 of Valentine's Day. I am in collaboration with quite a few others here as part of the design team for Creating with Jovi. I've listed their names below, and please, if possible, I'd love for you to go in and check out their sites also. And then to give you an idea, going on to the next day. Now that we've completed day 3 of Valentine's card of a pocket with a journaling card, a little bit of distressed ink on the back that you can write a note, and a little piece of vellum with love on the inside, and you can create your own note. Going into day 4, tomorrow we'll be doing another pocket. This page I'm going to be using out of the Love is in the Air, which is one of the other digital kits that Jovi has to offer. So please check that out when you get a chance. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.